this next shortcut is a beast, a big, beautiful beast. So I'm going to let Jay Pashalk introduce here.
So this one's awesome, so awesome actually too. It's again similar to the first one where, again, I don't know if I'd ever use it because it's almost too much of a beast. Um, and I mean, I have a lot of good things to say about it, so I'll start with the bad. So it has this another good thing actually. I love the little sound it makes. It starts up. It accesses some file um, stored in the device to do it. Anyway, so that's awesome. So, but then it's just so huge, and I'm like, okay, where do I even start? Um, and the only thing I don't like about it is that I don't like the icons because they just don't really match iOS for me, and I'm such a purist. But um, yeah, you can search on just about every platform you can think of. I haven't really tested a lot of it because I only checked this out last night. But you can search on Amazon, Bing, DuckDuckGo, um, eBay, Google, Reddit, Twitter, Yahoo, YouTube. Um, it's got nice back button functionality. So I've actually never checked out iCuts either, which is it seems really cool. I kind of want to check that out by the user. It's his username. And then it's got this great control center, so you can change your text size, set a timer, alarm clock, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth on and off. Oh,
Yeah, so this is what happens if you try to load a file from iCloud that hasn't been been downloaded and cached through iCloud
yeah,
Drive ahead of time. And the workaround is to, in your shortcut, every single time it runs, it should try to create the folder. And this will
right.
cause iCloud to do the necessary caching so that you don't get errors like this. Because I ran this the first time on my Mac. Now I'm trying to run it on iOS, and I'm seeing these issues. And so, like, it says the file setup text couldn't be opened, and it'll say that again the next time I run it. So I got that error by doing iCuts and then selecting my username because I already went through this setup process once. So if I open up users and open up the folder for mine, now it's pre-cached setup.txt. If I run it again, I won't get this error.
Right. I love the sound though. That's just so cool.
Yeah, so now it goes through. And so, a note to people using
Yeah.
iCloud for storage is if you want stuff to sync between devices, a workaround for things not caching correctly, because iCloud Drive is terrible. It's got to be the worst cloud syncing thing I've ever seen in my life.
It's true.
It's so bad.
Yeah. It's I mostly just use it for all my photos, but yeah, I don't know. This is pretty cool though. So there's like these larger actions it can do. Um, yeah, fast charging, QR codes, calculate route, open URL of your choice, like a better low power mode. You can open Shazam, put down your device. Really cool. I'm probably gonna take some inspiration from this when I do a rewrite of SC settings. So, and then a little button for support, which is really cool. And then, of course, open the Routinehub page. So, yeah, definitely. Can you see how many actions this thing has? It'd be interesting to see. I'd guess like at least two
Uh,
or 300, if not 500.
yeah, let me
So,
see here.
yeah, we should probably do a little more research when we're doing this, but maybe have the notes a day ahead of time.
So,
Super impressive.
isn't there like a get details of shortcut?
So if you throw an action to open your shortcuts, like you just
Ah, okay.
yeah, or get shortcuts, then I think will have that little list, or it'll have the actions in there. So one thing I learned actually too. So if you just open this and then or run the shortcut and say open app, if you have like the open apps, whatever action, then if you just have it ask for the app, it'll give you a list of all of your apps. Little thing that I didn't know. That's really cool. One thing I wish shortcuts could do is if you could change the heading at the top. So
here we go. Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go. 794 actions.
wow, yeah, I was guessing maybe like I said 300 to 500, but that's
Yeah, it's a beast. It's big enough that I'm not going to try and open it on Mac because it just brings the Shortcuts app to a halt.
it's funny. And settings. So he's got settings here. So I haven't. The one setting I wish he had too is to turn sounds on and off. That's something that like when I built my Skyrim one, I'll actually whenever I run it, I turn the sounds off because it's just kind of annoying. I just put them in there anyway for fun. So,
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and
it looks like oops, wrong one. Wrong one. Looks like a couple of these recursive. Oh my gosh, what have I done? Go away.
oh, I scrolled all the way to the bottom of it, and it took me like very long. So yeah, so this one was created by Shortcut Factory, and then it says supported by the user and Outland 3R 2007. So definitely some great work here.
And a quick note to the developers. One of the recursive calls here, when you go to settings and then back, it's trying to call. Oh, it worked that time. What the hell did I do the first time? Never mind. We'll check the recording. That there was an error that showed last time. It made it look like it was trying to run a shortcut that didn't exist because it was trying to run a copy of the shortcut that had the version number as part of the name.
Oh,
But yeah, this is a cool shortcut because ultimately this is a lot like a launcher shortcut. And so much of this stuff, as we previously discussed, has overlap with stuff that you can just do in Spotlight. But this one does some cooler stuff because like in Spotlight, you cannot, I guess you probably can. You can just include like the word Reddit with your search.
Right.
But this is a more explicit way of searching different services, which I like.
right.
And one of the cool things about this is that if you dig into the shortcut, then you'll see how they're constructing this because there's no action in shortcuts for search YouTube or search Yahoo or search Twitter or X. And so what's going on here is they're either constructing an appropriate URL that loads the website with the right search term, or in some cases they might be accessing a website API to make this stuff happen. And so there's some more advanced stuff. If it's the latter, if they're using APIs to do stuff, these are things that you don't necessarily expect Spotlight to be able to do unless Apple has some pre-existing relationship with the company that maintains the website so that they can bake that functionality into Spotlight. And like these actions, some of these are things that you can just do within Shortcuts. Like I think Shortcuts has some nice actions for dealing with QR codes now. And so this might just be baking those QR code actions into the shortcut so that you don't have to make your own shortcut for it. Or they might be doing some nifty stuff with writing HTML and JavaScript to make these things happen. I'm curious about the fast charging. That sounds like a cool trick. And as I went through when I went to set up my my iCuts account, before there was an account in there, it opened up a nice rendered website. And so in addition to 794 actions, this shortcut also takes the time to have some nice websites defined as HTML and CSS and stuff that it's loading up inside of a web view. And so
Nice, yeah.
a lot of blood, sweat, and tears going into the iControl shortcut.
I can imagine all the blood, sweat, and tears that happened. It kind of reminds me of something that I think we chatted about last time ish, where there's some shortcut developers that have created several different shortcuts, and then they create one to kind of call them all, which is a good way to kind of do it sometimes. But it's almost like at a certain point you're kind of replacing the functionality of the operating system, and so it's like it's like shortcut OS sort of.
Mm-hmm.
So
And it seems that there's a lot of overlap between the more diehard shortcuts community and the jailbreak community.
Yeah.
And so I think part of what you're talking about has to do with that. They're sort of accustomed to being able to do whatever they want with iOS if you're on a jailbroken device.
Right, yeah, that's kind of where I hail from. I was a hardcore jailbreaker for a long time. I every device I ever had was always jailbroken until it got just so difficult to manage, and I'm not going to sit there and every week like re-sign an app or something, or whatever. And then also too, I think the iPhone X, iPhone 10 or whatever was the last one that was a proper-ish jailbreak.
Yeah, I've heard rumors that 17.3 might get a jailbreak, but who knows? It's also really sketchy because there used to be a more cohesive jailbreak community with Sarek and Cydia and stuff, and and even though the jailbreaks would come from different places, you always had this like core group of people that could validate that stuff was safe for the community. And so like now, like I certainly wouldn't recommend a lay person to try and jailbreak their device unless they had some previous experience. But moving on, we've got AirDrop